Beyond current awareness lies a fifth dimension. It is a dimension that resides in a universe, dancing between the realms of real and conceptual. As vast as space, yet nanoscale in size, it is the middle ground between subaudible sound and high-energy gamma rays. Journey with us as we breach the void of perplexity and the apex of cognition, as we step over the threshold separating reality towards a parallel universe known as the Pragix combobulator zone. Okay, let's begin. We're looking at a fresh install of Greenbone, and we're using the Community Edition, which is a great way to get started without incurring any costs. First thing to recognize is we're running under port 9392, which is the default port for Greenbone. You can change that with a reverse proxy. Note that this system has no SSL certificate installed. That will have to be remedied before you go into production with this. And last, the user ID and the password are both set up as the default admin, and again, you'll have to change that as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and log in now. And once we log in, we're presented with a preliminary dashboard. The preliminary dashboard gives us various different information. The tasks that have already run, these are the scans. We see evidence in the system of 141,970 NVTs, and we can also see the total quantity of CVEs that have been downloaded from the NVD database. And these update every single day, and every year they grow and grow and grow. So now we're ready to begin. The first thing that we're going to do is configure a target. A target is a collection of IP addresses. So we go to create the target by going to Targets and Configuration, and we click on the paper with the star on it to create a new target. And we really only have to give it a name. In this case, we're going to say My Hyper-V Machines. I'm going to be scanning machines on my hypervisor. And I'm giving it a range, 192.168.1.200 through 192.168.1.205. I'm also going to specify how I'm going to test to see if those machines are up and running. You have a lot of flexibility here. You can change it, add things, remove things. So now we have a configuration of targets. Now the second thing I want to bring about, because this is foundational, are the scan configurations. Greenbone comes with a number of scan configurations already built into the system. You can copy this and clone them, or you can just use them as they are, or you can edit the ones you have. And they're all various different tests against databases, operating systems, applications, ports, etc., for various vulnerabilities that are well known. And as we said, we have over 141,000 of these tests that are built into the system. Now, in order to scan, we have to actually create a task. A task is this payload of what will be done. So we can see that we don't have any tasks yet. We're going to go ahead and create a task. In this case, I'm just simply calling it Scanning My Hyper-V Machines. And we're going to use those targets that we just created, My Hyper-V Machines target. Now, we're going to scan this to only work once, and it'll work on demand. And notice this is that full and fast scan config that was built in. And now we have a task ready to run. The task will run as soon as we execute the tasks. And again, this can be run on a schedule, it can be a recurring task, but we're just doing it on demand. And now we're just launched and we're running our task. And notice you can see that it's queued, and as soon as it starts, it'll say that it's in progress. And here we have at 0% in progress. Once your task is completed, it'll let you know that it's done. And when it's done, you'll start to see some evidence of data. Each time it runs, the reports will increment by 1. So if I run this every day, after 7 days, I'll have 7 reports. We can see all my tasks. I could have hundreds of them out there, what the status of all of them are. I can also see, of all the tasks, what's the worst case vulnerabilities that are discovered in each one of the tasks. And this is useful information that we see immediately. But we want to actually dive in now and look at the reports. And for that task, we only have a single report. And what's interesting, when you look at the reports, you see data that's very valuable. How many machines are scanning per hour on each day? What is the aggregation of vulnerabilities each time this task has run, from high, medium, and low, etc.? And then we can dive right into the results. And as we dive into the results, we see critical information. How many CVEs were found in the task? And we can go ahead and click on that and see what those are. We can see what type of operating systems were discovered. You're going to see a plethora of those between network devices, printers, etc. And you're going to see information about the ports that have been discovered and are communicating. And we also see the IP addresses of the hosts that are being scanned. Now, one thing that should be noted, some hosts could have more than one IP address, and that's something you'll have to be prepared for. Now, in our results, we have some interesting information. We have 2 high severity findings in our Postgres implementations, and these are 2 of my virtual machines, .222 and .221. And both of these have a very high vulnerability. The default credentials are still set, and I can see what kind of remediations they are in this column that I have. In some cases, a remediation can be a mitigation. In some cases, it can be a workaround. And in some cases, it may be a vendor fix, a patch, or something else. So you can get a sense of what to do. If I click on the discovery, I can see the exact solution, and it tells you what you need to do in order to improve or reduce that risk. Now, all this data that we get, we've configured Greenbone to store all the data in Postgres, and that's a valuable system. That data can be enriched with things like the SysEC KEV must patch list or the EPSS probability scoring list. Additionally, I can take that data and discover it and use it in AI chatbots, and I can integrate it with tools such as Dependency Track to now merge vulnerabilities that are discovered and associated with endpoints across multiple different scanning solutions. Why don't you contact us at Pragix? We'd love to talk to you and let you know more about how we achieve this and how we set it up. The installation takes about 14 minutes from beginning to end on Ubuntu with Docker.